we don't talk enough about the fact that when we've been dealt a bad hand or had a lot of trauma, abuse, neglect, a lot of loss and hardship in our lives, and we start looking at people online and comparing ourselves to them, you know, for me, it's like writers and photographers and travelers and people that do cinematic, meaningful art that is for advocacy and activism, for animals, for wild land, for psychology, for consciousness, for humanity. But we shame our own grief, we shame our own guilt, we shame ourselves for the state that we are in, aka we are judging our feelings constantly, rather than allowing ourselves to learn from what we are feeling and sit with it. We are judging how we are feeling, and we're like, you're not doing enough, you haven't done enough, you've wasted your life, you've wasted your potential. And for me, it's like, I know I have so much to give the world, to help people, to raise awareness, to help different causes, to share my story and the life lessons and the stories and the insights, realizations, and epiphanies that have come to me intuitively throughout my journey, and that I've been like, oh my God, I feel like I need to shout this from the rooftops. Like, the type of things that it feels like the whole world, everybody needs to know about, because we'd be in more harmony, we'd be more connected, we'd be living more enriching, nurturing lives, and we wouldn't be so divided and brainwashed and, played by different systems. But when we judge ourselves for our feelings, like our shame, our grief, our guilt, like we're like, oh my God, this person is amazing artist. Like, we are seeing that they're an amazing artist, and we are feeling deeply because we see that amazing artist, writer, photographer, cinematic filmmaker, whatever, maybe reflected back in us. We know that what they are doing is a part of us that we want to do. And again, love, hate, envy, jealousy, whatever it is that you feel strongly about other people, it's because it's they are reflecting back to you a part of yourself that is likely unintegrated, undeveloped on, possibly repressed, traumatized, wounded, distorted, corrupt, etc. So when we notice something, we're like, oh my God, that's amazing, I want to do that. Maybe we don't even hear that I want to do that because we have shame and grief and guilt. We're like, I could have done that. I have so much to give the world, but it's too late. What if I die first? And like, maybe this is very unique. Maybe not a lot of people can relate to what I'm talking about, but I have noticed myself make myself feel bad for not only when I actually enjoy doing something, it's immediately fear-inducing. It's immediately like, no, it's going to get taken away, or you're not able to do it. Like, it's something's going to come crashing down, and Brene Brown calls that foreboding fear. Correction from editing to Lula. I meant to say foreboding joy, not foreboding fear. And that's a great term for what our hypervigilant brain that is trying to avoid pain and destruction to our survival is trying to do. But we see other people doing what we want, and we feel shame, and we feel grief, and we feel guilt, and we're kind of judging ourselves because we somehow feel like we're already behind. Like, it's already too late to do our art, to get our message in the world, to do our writing, to live out our path. And we're judging ourselves, based on age or in comparison to other people. And a lot of other people, had family, support, foundation, like those types of establishments in their life, like foundational love and boundaries and being nurtured and being encouraged to have their feelings and their thoughts and their desires and their own humanity and their own beingness. Whereas others have been ostracized, belittled, berated, punished, etc., for their needs, thoughts, feelings, their sensitivity, their desire to do art or write, or, like, I've been afraid. I've felt like, how dare you be audacious? How dare you be so entitled and righteous to think that you can have a desire that is connected to the world needs what I have to give? Like, how dare I be like, the world needs what I have to give? Even though it's like, it does. And I'm not just going to be a cog in a machine and go pick up some random job or just like scroll away my life. But we can get into that trap because we see other people doing what we want to do. We feel discouraged and we shame ourselves because we're afraid to consider that we might be able to do it, to get excited about the fact that we can explore that now in our life. Like, it's not too late. We get scared to let ourselves explore that it might be a possibility because we have constantly been through so much pain and trials and turmoil and tumult, and we want to avoid that, but we're also avoiding the joy of what we want to do because we likely are trying to commoditize or make a purpose or something out of that which we want to give the world. For me, like, I want to be able to do my writing, photography, drawing, painting, art, conscious speaking, intuitive work, etc., advocacy, activism. Like, I want to be able to do all those things, quote, for a living, but it's my gifts, my talents, my skills that I naturally have that are able to be employed and invested into what I do daily. That is also my job or my make a living, you know? And that's one like thing I'm working on having to shift, is that it is okay to want a job, to have needs, to have desires, to have a dream, to have a goal, to do work or make a quote living off of doing that which you feel called and pulled to do in love. And why? Like, we're going to be more motivated. We are going to be able to sustain that work way longer because we actually have purpose and we actually want to do it. And our callings will not let us not do it. And when you do not do it, when you eclipse your callings with deflection and distraction and avoidance, it comes back even stronger as regret and remorse and shame and grief for the time that's gone by and the fear that we won't have enough time. But we have to start shifting, and instead of judging, like, they are doing that so great, like, wow, they're an amazing artist, I could never do that, I'm too far behind, I can't afford the equipment, I can't do this, I can't do that. Instead of judging how we are feeling, and this goes for every aspect of life, not just this particular topic. Instead of judging our feelings and emotions, we need to learn to sit with them, embrace them, get curious about them, welcome the lessons, the blessings, the insights, and the medicine that comes from that which we feel. Our feelings are not bad. Our feelings are divinely designed transmissions to relay information and insight and lessons to us, to help us apply it, to learn, to grow, to evolve, you know, to not stay stuck in the same cycles over and over. And the same cycles will happen for you over and over until you learn the lesson. And yeah, it's unfortunate that, like, some of us are more traumatized than the average person. We are lonely or have estranged families, don't feel like we have families, you know, don't feel like we've had friends, or every single relationship seems like it has been chaotic and we've been told that we're too much and we're overwhelming. And it's like, dude, tell me about it. If it's overwhelming to the outside people, imagine what it feels like to be me, you know? But we compare ourselves to other people not knowing the context of their background, their lives, like whether they are on daddy's money, or if they were supported by family, or if they're supported by a partner, or, you know, if they went through some really, really hard things and made some really hard sacrifices, like gave up some things that they did love for something they love even more. Like, we don't know. And our trauma is not an excuse. It is not something to be victim to, but it is fair to want to be seen and recognized for the fact that you went through so much that wasn't your fault. And unfortunately now it wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to fix your maladaptive coping skills and how you respond and how you react to conflict. It is our job to focus on the path of reprogramming our subconscious brains to re-identify and define and associate ourselves with love, with friendship, with money, with creativity, with expression, with sensuality, vulnerability, and intimacy, and so many other like vital parts of human aspects, which is like why I see other artists and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, they're just really out there doing that. I wish I was giving that to the world. But I'm doing what's best for me, aka what's best for the world, which is working on that introspection, working on trying to like letting the shame and the grief and the guilt come up in little increments and doses as much as I can handle, especially since I don't really feel like I have very much support. And working through that and getting the insights and interpreting and introspecting on what I have to learn and how I get to shift my narrative, my internal dialogues, what I associate and identify with and define myself by. And I've had a lot of grief and guilt and shame, but also like I said, fear of entitlement, fear of being righteous, fear of being privileged, like shame around the fact that I need to play, I need to rest deeply. Depression is deep rest, you know? And when you've lived a life having to mask and hide yourself, having to self-betray all the time to stay in connection with other people, and then being punished and berated or abused and neglected by other people, like, it's exhausting. And it's so sad. Like, there's this deep mourning for when I see artists like really just out there expressing it, having beautiful work. It's like there's this deep mourning inside that, like, God, because I have gone through so much pain, like I have been so blocked, and I get to go on this beautiful journey of unblocking those parts of my creativity, but there's sometimes when it feels like it's impossible. There's sometimes when it feels like you're never gonna like live long enough to get your message out there, and or to get, you know, to explore it, to just live that. But what would it mean if you did? What would it mean if you had already done it? That's what I've been asking myself. And it's like, I would have impacted more people. I would have got my message out there. I would have helped more people, would have made more awareness. Like, but we have to help ourselves first. That's why it really is the most important thing to focus on our subconscious reprogramming, changing how our thought patterns work. Because you can have the best partner, best life, best friends, like the dream life, and you can actually perceive current situations that are completely different than your past as though they are the traumatic past situations, because your brain hasn't moved past those traumatic situations. It was never processed, it was never metabolized, it was never transmuted or alchemized. And so when we are triggered psychologically, when our trauma is triggered, we relive past events, even in the face of new present events that are totally contradictory, like complementary contradictions to our past. And it's very destructive and it's like sabotaging, it's destructive, it's debilitating. And then to compare yourself to other people who you don't know how their life is and be like, wow, like to feel that pain, instead of being like, wow, I recognize that's something that I want. I need to explore it. I need to express it. I need to work on integrating. I need to work on unearthing and integrating those aspects of myself that I see reflected back to me in other people. Like, maybe we see what they're doing and we're triggered by, like, I think the internet thrives off of this because comparison, you know, we compare ourselves to others, etc. And if we just would see someone doing something we want to do, instead of saying we can never do it, etc., if we put the phone down and we're like, wow, let me really sit with how that makes me feel. Let me sit with what this other person doing, seemingly living radically or whatever it might be that it is for you. Let me get curious about why I have this painful response. It's like both exciting and like, oh my God, amazing. And like, I can't do that, you know? It's both of those extreme feelings in one, and it has so much to like reveal and expose to you about beautiful aspects of yourself that want and need to be healed and integrated and expressed. And we can't rush our life path. And every day is value. There is value in every day. And maybe we're not ready for the engagement that would come with us being like viral, if we became known for something really great. Maybe we need to just have our own right to take our own time to sit in that. It's about learning not only to be human, but take your time back, take your attention back. Let yourself have the right to fucking go outside, to read a book, to sit in silence, to meditate, to listen to the wind, to write, to get curious about your own feelings and your own thoughts, like to work on your emotional intelligence and your subconscious reprogramming and your consciousness overall. Like, there's like this guilt that it's like we almost feel like we're supposed to be productive or scrolling or whatever. That is consumeristic society has like gotten us to think it's bad to have our own time, to think it's selfish to have our own space, you know? And that's something that's been ingrained in me. Again, that might not be something that other people have experienced, but I know if you're listening, then you get it. We just have to learn to take back our time, our rights, our dreams, our desires, our thoughts, because otherwise if we conform and condemn ourselves, we'll become corrupt and bitter and callous, and we won't live out our life purpose that we're meant to. And yes, it's shocking and scary and radical and unconventional living out our dreams, but it's only unconventional because consumeristic capitalistic societies have been set up in a certain way to control us, to dilute us, to keep us distracted, entertained, misinformed, and divided from our nature, separated from our creativity, our sensuality, our consciousness, our critical thinking, and one another. So when you're comparing yourself to someone else, if you feel that morning of like, God, because I've gone through so much trauma and I'm so like broken, I haven't done that yet. Allow yourself to get curious about those feelings. Ask yourself what is being revealed to you through your feelings and your aspirations, the painful part and the excitement that comes. And I know it's dualistic and it's contradictory. It's like both very, very exciting, that intense excitement, like I want to do it all, and the intense like depression, can't do it, it's too late, it's impossible. I get it. And if you get it, let me know. Like, if this offered you any value, if you resonate with what I talked about, let me know, because connection, you know, sorry. Yeah.